Well, I'm glad it's over. It's been really hectic. The exciting part about this is that I feel we've got some great young players that are going to fill some holes that this program desperately needs, and the type of guys that we feel are going to compete and be here for 5 years. When I got the job here at WSU, I flew over on a Thursday. I had 2 days, if you count a Saturday, 3 days to actually still be able to see players before we went into a dead period. And so for me, the number one priority was to come over and to address the in-state kids right off the bat in that small window of time that I had. When we come in as late as we did, the thing that's challenging is that you have schools and coaches that have been have created dialogue and been recruiting kids for up to 10 months. And here we come in the last 3 to 4 weeks and hoping to learn and to trust each other, to create enough dialogue where they can now trust us. And that's just challenging, and I don't blame the kids when they've been recruited hard by other schools and they feel loyal to them, and here they are trying to get to know us. That's tough. We were able to get to talk to enough kids that did sway their decision. At the same time, I wasn't really looking to try to go in and spend all our efforts in trying to convince kids to decommit, because I think it sends the wrong message. And so what we did is we talked to the kids that were truly interested in us and then spent time with those guys. And then we went and found guys that we think that they are going to develop, that are under the radar type of players. You just seem to get more production from athletes that come in and redshirt in their first year, albeit high school or junior college. So we're going to do everything we can to do that. Successful teams generally have mature football teams or mature teams, period, regardless of sport. And it's hard to become a mature team unless you have mature players. And to have mature players, you got to give them time. And a lot of times what we need to do is we need to have players that come in redshirt, whether it be junior college or high school, and allow those guys to mature. So eventually, over time, you'll have a mature football team. We try to bring in as many players like that not only are going to be solid football players for the program, but they're the type of character and have the work ethic that are going to make others around them better. They've got leadership skills, and we need a strong insertion of that on this football team right now. And the thing that you'll notice in our class here is the majority of these guys are multiple position players. They're not just set as a receiver, or not just a defensive lineman or a tight end. And the thing about building a program is that the more players you keep recruiting that are multiple position guys, when something comes up, when you're short in a position or two via injury, via a kid maybe flunks out, whatever, there's attrition and you got a hole. Instead of going the junior college route year in and year out, you're able to move players that are in your program to fill those holes. So you've got an experienced kid in your program, experience in the conference, and now you're filling your holes with players in your program, not always relying on junior college kids. And so you got to get enough players in your program that give you the flexibility to move around and fill holes that way, rather than trying to pull in somebody and to help you. I think with our offense, we're going to be able to move players, skill position players, around a lot of different areas. They're not going to be real stagnant in terms of our formations all the time. I think our defensive line is an issue, obviously. Just our lack of depth and experience at the position is very evident, and production. If you look at film and see where we are, we need to have a lot better production and performance out of that position. I think our secondary, same thing. Just the lack of number of kids on scholarship right now at the position is very, very thin. So we need to bring in some young quality players that we can develop there. But I'll say this, we talked about tomorrow starts a new day of recruiting for next year. Really we've been compiling players already all through the recruiting process. And we actually have a couple offers out verbally to juniors right now that we know extremely well and have a great feel for that and for those kind of guys. And so, we're already on the trail for 09.